So we got the 7 levels of zombie movies. I think this is like the 7 levels of zombie apocalypses. Damn. The fact that World War Z is number 4 is crazy. I thought this was gonna be the worst one. I don't recognize any other one. Oh yeah, this is Resident Evil. And then this is the like 28 years later or 28 days later. But I feel like World War Z should be the worst one. Anyways, let's check the video out.
These are the 7 levels of zombie movies. Level 1, brain dead films. These movies are so bad that even zombies would walk out.
Yes.
House of the Dead, Zombie Nation, Day of the Dead, Bloodline. If you've seen any of them.
And I feel like if there was a zombie apocalypse, it should be like this, because zombies, right? The Return of the Dead, like they shouldn't be able to function, bro. They should just be walkers, like The Walking Dead. Like if it was a Walking Dead type of scenario, we'd be okay. But, bro, other than that, like all these other zombie movies are crazy.
I'm sorry. If you haven't, make sure you keep it that way. House of the Dead genuinely has many scenes where they literally cut to footage from the House of the Dead game during action sequences.
Really?
I am being 100% serious. Not as a stylistic
So this is
choice,
trash?
just because they ran out of ideas and apparently had the game's license. It's directed by Uwe Boll, which should tell you everything, but I'll say it anyway. This man made a zombie movie where the scariest thing is the editing. I wouldn't class any of these level 1 entries as movies. They're warnings. They exist, so filmmakers know exactly what not to do. Every frame looks like it was shot by someone who just learned cameras exist, and not to mention that the acting feels like first read-throughs that somehow made it to the final cut.
Oh,
but
wow.
Hey, at least they're consistently terrible. Level 2 is worse because these movies should know better. Level 2, dumb films. Level 2 movies have budgets. They have some recognizable actors, but they have no excuse for being this aggressively mediocre. Yet here we are. Resident Evil. The final chapter is edited like the editor was fighting the footage and losing. I actually counted once. The average shot length is under 2 seconds.
Oh, so this is going... Oh, I thought this video was gonna be like the different levels of zombies in zombie movies. You know what I'm saying? Like how lethal are they and stuff like that. But this is going on, I guess, about the cinematography and the, you know, like the behind the scenes and stuff of the way the movies were made.
Seriousness. In some scenes, and I'm not exaggerating here, I could not even tell what the fuck was happening, who's fighting who, or why you should even care about whatever was happening. There was even one point in the movie that was so shaky and jumpy that someone died and I didn't even know who it was until around 10 minutes later, where I was able to see who was still alive and then find out. The rest of the film is just Mila Jovovich doing backflips in slow motion while the plot happens somewhere off screen.
Well, that's why we're watching, because of her, Resident Evil. But I will say, yeah, like, if you're watching the movie now, you will actually realize how kind of bad it is.
But hey, luckily this terrible pacing only carries on until the last 15 minutes, where it slows down and becomes even more unbearable.
Those movies were peak,
I'm
yeah,
debating
but watching
putting
it
this
back...
in level 1, though I think mainly because of the franchise it gets its spot in level 2. But this isn't the only level 2 film. The Dead Don't Die wants so badly to be clever. Bill Murray and Adam Driver fight zombies in small-town America while making meta-commentary about zombie movies and consumerism. Zombies moan Wi-Fi and Chardonnay because they want what they loved in life. Get it? It's so funny. Except it's not. It's just Jim Jarmusch being quirky for 2 hours while you check your phone. I think I fell asleep watching this film. But the next film is amazing. Army of the Dead has a zombie tiger. A literal zombie tiger.
Yes, that was actually a very enjoyable movie. It was 2 of them, Army of the Dead and then Day of the Thieves or something like that. Those were really good movies. I enjoyed those.
Army of the Dead has a zombie tiger, a literal zombie tiger. How amazing is that?
They were trying to like
Not to mention a robot
some money
zombie, and a whole subplot about a zombie king and queen that goes nowhere. Zack Snyder clearly had a list of cool shit and just...
Yeah, he did, bro. Wait, yo, Sucker Punch? I remember I rewatched this movie like 14 times on TV back in the day. That was tough. Watchmen, the Justice League, yeah. Best iteration by far, still. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with DC, bro, but they need to start cooking. But so far, at least we got Superman. We'll see how they're gonna carry on with Batman.
Clearly had a list of cool shit and just filmed
it's not gonna be the
without
Robert
asking
Pattinson
if any of it mattered. Spoiler: It doesn't. These movies work as background noise. You can fold laundry during them and not miss anything important. But there's something way more frustrating coming in Level 3. Level 3, passable films. Level 3 is the most annoying tier because you can see the good movie buried under terrible decisions. These films had potential and completely wasted it. Zombieland 2 brings back the entire cast, gives them more money, and forgets what made the first ones work. The original was tight, clever, character-focused.
Yes.
The sequel is louder and dumber and introduces new characters who are just discount versions of
Forgettable.
the ones we already like. If you're a fan of Zombieland 2, don't hate me. I think the film is fine overall, but forgettable. It's the definition of, well, that existed. Unlike Resident Evil from 2002, which
got
launched
better.
a franchise that made billions of dollars, and also forgot that Resident Evil is a horror game. The laser hallway
That's what I'm
scene
saying, bro. Like, okay, again, this happened in the past, like, 2002, and they have, I think they made, 4 movies or something, but again, they have the horror game. Imagine seeing Leon and Chris Redfield go crazy, bro. Like, that would sell tickets, low
launched a
key.
franchise that made billions
Especially
of
now.
dollars, and also forgot that Resident Evil is a horror game. The laser hallway scene is sick as fuck. Everything else is Mila Jovovich doing Matrix moves while zombies stand around waiting to get kicked. It's
True.
fine as a generic action film. As Resident Evil, it's basically fan fiction that
Yeah.
somehow got a $100 million budget. 28 Weeks Later opens with one of the most intense sequences in zombie movie history. Robert Carlyle...
These are really good, though. I wonder why this is level 3, right? Is that what we on? I already forgot. But yeah, I thought the 28 days, weeks, and years later, this 28 stuff later, I thought they were like really good. I figured they'd be more up on the list.
opens with one of the most intense sequences in zombie...
I don't think Resident Evil is a horror game because it's more action than scary. I think you're right. And I think that's why they made 7 the way it is. Because Resident Evil 7 with that family in Louisiana or whatever it was in the middle of nowhere, yo, bro, that was a genuine, like an actual genuine horror game. Like they cooked with that. And I want to see more of that. Resident Evil Village as well had a little bit of both. And well, y'all already know, bro. Lady Demetress, shorty was a bod. Jack Baker was on Demon Time, and yeah, that like those were some really good games. I'm not gonna lie, for sure.
somehow got a $100 million budget. 28 Weeks Later opens with one of the most intense sequences in zombie movie history. Robert Carlyle abandoning his wife while she screams for help is devastating. Then, the movie becomes a series...
Hey, that kid too, bro. That kid, she was worried about the kid. And apparently, you guys told me this, that wasn't even their son. Or it was just a random kid. Why are you worried about a random kid, gang? I'm leaving. Or two. Nah, you gotta go. Like, what are you
people
doing?
making catastrophically stupid decisions because the plot needs them to. An infected man gets access to his children in a secure quarantine zone. Nobody locks the door properly. The US military's brilliant plan is to firebomb all of London. It's competent and disappointing in equal measure. But I do appreciate the intensity and gore of 28 Weeks Later, and yeah, overall, it was a solid sequel. But at least Level 3 movies tried to be good. Though Level 4 is where things finally start getting fun, and there's a specific reason these movies work that the previous ones completely missed.
What do we got?
Level 4, good films. Level 4 movies finally figured out the sequel.
Level 4? Where was he at level 4? No, I need to fire you, gang. I need to hear what you got to say about this one. I feel like World War Z was a solid movie, bro. Word. I don't know Pointy Pool, and I do not know Planet Terror.
Have an actual point of view. These films have style, personality, and ideas, even if they don't always stick the landing. Firstly, World War Z should have been a disaster. It had massive reshoots, budget overruns, and a completely replaced third act.
Oh,
but somehow, it works anyway.
Really? The movie looks good. I didn't like, when I watched this, obviously I was a lot younger, so I didn't really like get into the behind the scenes and the whatever. I just watched this movie just on TV, whatever. That was really good. And then I think I've rewatched this maybe 2 or 3 more times. This is a really good movie, and it doesn't feel like it got reshot or, you know, budget, whatever. Like, it feels like a solid movie through and through.
Runs and a completely replaced third act, but somehow it works anyway. The Israel Wall scene where zombies build a pyramid of bodies to climb over is genuinely spectacular.
True.
Brad Pitt is doing his best, concerned dad saves the world performance.
Yep.
The problem is the book is
Brad
this
Pitt.
brilliant anthology of different perspectives on a zombie war, and the movie is just Brad Pitt running around and being Brad Pitt. Yes, it's good. It's just a shame since I believe it could have easily been legendary. But the next weird one was surprisingly good.
Oh, I kind of want him to talk about what he would have done or wanted to see to make it legendary. Because I do agree. I don't think it's a legendary movie, but it's a really good zombie movie. Because at least for me, it takes a different approach at what quote unquote zombies are. But I don't think these guys are zombies, right? Aren't they just infected? Which still, it's really good. Like, it doesn't bother me that it's following Brad Pitt around because I mean, it starts off as him being the main character and he has to, you know, protect his family. Like, I feel like it was always about him. So I don't mind that.
Around and being Brad Pitt. Yes, it's good. It's just a shame since I believe it could have easily been legendary.
I want to know why.
The next weird
though.
one was
Like,
surprisingly good.
what he could have
Pontypool
done.
might be the weirdest zombie movie ever made. The infection spreads through language, specifically English words.
What?
The entire movie is set in a radio station where a DJ slowly realizes that speaking certain terms turns people violent. It's creative and genuinely unsettling when it works. When it doesn't work, it's just people talking about a concept for way too long. Regular viewers will probably fall asleep during it, but I really like the concept, so maybe this is a biased ranking. Unlike Planet Terror, which is Robert Rodriguez making exactly the grindhouse zombie movie he wants to make.
That's my
Rose
last
McGowan
name.
gets a machine gun leg, and there's a scene with a
What? No. Yo, check. But why though? You could have gotten a regular leg and used the machine gun with your hands for more control. That's why are these compared to World War Z, bro? Nah, gang, nah, I don't trust you no more, bro.
The grindhouse zombie movie he wants to make. Rose McGowan gets a machine gun leg.
I feel like this is just very unpractical, very awkward. Like, look how she has to shoot the AR, bro.
And there's a scene with a melting zombie. Yeah, you can see it.
It's
He knows
unique,
exactly
though.
what it is. Stupid, excessive, self-aware trash. The problem is the deliberately shitty film quality gets old fast. And also, it was the weaker half of Grindhouse. Death Proof walked so Planet Terror could run around shooting zombies while missing the point. In my opinion, these level 4 movies are worth your time. They'll entertain you, give you some laughs, and you'll probably recommend them with a but attached. That but is why they're level 4 instead of
I don't know. The only one I can definitely recommend is World War Z. This leg lady, if she's doing like backflips and there's cool scenes with a nice little story, okay, no problem. But so far, it does seem pretty weird. And then the other one with the radio station, I don't know. Off the bat, it does seem a little boring. So I can see why he said this might be a biased ranking.
Because level 5 is where movies stop being pretty good and become genuinely great.
Okay,
and
what
the
we
difference
got?
is bigger than you'd think. Level 5, great films. Level 5 is where zombie movies remember they can make you feel things besides, haha, cool gore. These films have emotional weight, characters matter, and you might actually get upset when someone dies, which is weird during a zombie movie. The Girl with All the Gifts is about a little girl named Melanie who's infected with a fungal zombie virus, but still has her mind intact. She's kept strapped to a wheelchair in a military base, treated like a weapon by most people, and like a student by one sympathetic teacher. The movie asks genuinely uncomfortable questions about what makes someone human.
Oh, did she bite her? Is this the little girl biting her now?
Uncomfortable questions about what makes someone human and whether humanity deserves saving if we're monsters to children. Senia Nanua's performance as Melanie will break your heart. The ending is bleak and perfect and completely earned. It's not really about zombies. It's about how we define personhood and who gets to be considered human. Army of Darkness.
True.
is
I mean,
Bruce-
true. Hey, by nature, like by what he said, although she's a zombie, she still has her brain intact. Technically, that's what makes us human. Like, because if we have our brain intact, we can still think and act like us. So if my body's zombie, like I don't get how that plays along. Like, my body is a zombie, but my brain is still intact. Aren't I just still a human? What does my body being a zombie mean? It's like my flesh decaying? Is like my body just dead? You just change your diet? Oh, so now I want like humans. Shit. Hey, Chad, as long as y'all feed me, we chilling. I don't know, but whatever. Okay, I understand.
About how we define personhood and who gets to be considered human. Army of Darkness is Bruce Campbell fighting skeleton zombies in medieval times with a chainsaw for a hand and a shotgun he calls his boomstick. And if that doesn't sound perfect to you, then I don't know what to tell you. This is Sam Raimi at peak Raimi. Every scene is either hilarious or creatively gory or both. Ash is an idiot hero who succeeds despite himself while being a complete dick about it. This is my boomstick. Shop smart, shop S-smart. Give me some sugar, baby. The one-liners are legendary. The practical effects are incredible. It commits fully to being absurd and never apologizes for it. The reason it's level 5 instead of higher is it's pure fun without deeper meaning, but man, what fun it is. Day of the Dead from 1985.
Pure fun without meaning. Bruh, World War Z is pure fun with meaning. Yo, bro, you about to get me tight, bruh. I'm not jacking you no more. Honestly, but I still think World War Z should have been up there.
Is George Romero deciding to make the bleakest zombie movie possible. Underground bunker, scientists trying to find a cure, and soldiers going insane. The real horror is watching humans destroy each other while claiming they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
Captain Rhodes is one of the all-time great human
villains. This guy's, yo, bro, this guy is annoying. We watched that video on like the most brutal deaths, and he had a brutal death, bro. He got ate by the zombies and stuff. But yeah, yo, this guy really pissed me off. Everything was about him. Shut up.
A petty dictator who'd rather maintain control than actually survive. Tom Savini's gore effects are still disgusting decades later. Bub the zombie learning to salute and use a gun is somehow touching. The ending offers hope, but makes you wade through intestines to get there. These movies prove the genre can be more than jump scares and headshots, but still have room for improvement. Though none of these levels have been anywhere near as insane as you guys watching this far and not joining my Discord server. Link in description. Okay, but seriously, these next 2 levels contain some of the most brilliant movies you will ever see in your life.
Go ahead.
Level 6, Masterpiece Films. Level 6 is where the training wheels come off and directors start using zombies to make actual statements about society, humanity, and what scares us beyond rotting flesh.
Oh, cool.
Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder's remake, not the original, opens with one of the most effective apocalypse sequences ever filmed. Sarah Polley goes to sleep in suburban normalcy and wakes up to her neighbor's zombie child eating her husband. Within 5 minutes, the entire world has collapsed. Then the opening
happened
credits.
in World War Z, gang. He was driving, all of a sudden, shit flying. Nah, bro, he's unbiased about World War Z, bro. I'm not letting that go. Bro. But although, okay, cities falling, I get it. But bro, I'm not about to wake up to somebody, little girl, biting my family member. What happened to locking our doors? Not just the front door. Cause bro, she has to get through the front door, then my room door, or just find a way to navigate through my house. Like what?
Child eating her husband. Within 5 minutes, the entire world has collapsed. Then the opening credits roll over Johnny Cash singing "The Man Comes Around" while civilization ends in rapid cuts of chaos.
Damn.
And you realize this movie knows exactly what it's doing. The survivors hole up in a mall, which becomes this perfect consumerist nightmare. They're hiding in a temple to capitalism while the world dies outside, and that's not subtext. That's just text. The running zombies changed the genre forever. Suddenly, zombies were actually dangerous instead of slow obstacles. Every decision feels earned. The characters make smart choices and still die because intelligence doesn't matter when you're this outnumbered. And that ending? They escape on a boat, there's a moment of hope, and then the credits roll over camcorder footage showing exactly how that hope died, screaming. It's bleak perfection. 28 Days Later did something revolutionary.
This one's good
It
too.
made zombies.
Yes. This is the one I saw, the 28 Days one. It started off like pretty crazy. The guy just woke up from a coma, and it was scary because nobody was there. So he walking like, bro, what the fuck going on? And then the first encounter, I think it was the first encounter, yeah. He pulled up to a church or something, and then, yeah, they were like going after him. That's pretty scary.
It's bleak perfection. 28 Days Later did something revolutionary. It made zombies terrifying again by making them not technically zombies. The rage virus doesn't kill and reanimate, it just strips away everything human and leaves pure aggression behind. Danny Boyle shot it on digital video, giving everything this documentary immediacy. The empty London shots are haunting. I would consider going to London if the streets were always that empty. But the real genius is the midpoint shift, where the infected stop being the main threat. The soldiers are scarier than the zombies. The rage virus just removes civilization's veneer. The humans show you what was underneath all along. Cillian Murphy's journey from confused bicycle courier to someone capable of brutal violence mirrors society's collapse.
That's true.
The film argues that the real infection is rage itself, and we were already infected before the virus hit. It's about masculinity, about violence, about how thin the line is between human and monster.
Okay.
The zombies are just the excuse to explore that. Zombieland.
Okay, I could agree with that for sure. And I agree that it should be a higher level. See, this ranking right here, I can 100% get behind. But World War Z, bro, I feel like, yeah, okay, you see how you just said, bro, he's describing every zombie movie. A lot of the compliments he gave the movies on level 5 and 6, World War Z, that ass fit that category, gang. That just me though. We are on level, I think 7 right now.
Excuse to explore that. Zombieland 2009 is the zombie comedy that actually works.
Yeah, it was
because
funny.
It's not really a comedy. It's a found family story wrapped in apocalypse humor. Columbus's rules aren't jokes. They're
Yo, Vash, how does World War Z meat taste, bro? I think it's a good movie, bro. I don't think it should be level 4. All right, I'll drop it though. Also, Vazik, yeah, man. Chat 5 minutes on that lame ass, stupid ass, goofy ass boy.
His rules aren't jokes. They're trauma responses, a way to maintain control when everything's chaos. The core 4 form this dysfunctional family that's funnier and more genuine than most dramas. Tallahassee's Twinkie obsession is revealed as displaced grief over his dead son. The Bill Murray cameo is perfect because it's completely unnecessary but thematically essential. Even celebrities become human when the world ends. The film understands that the zombie apocalypse would be terrifying and absurd simultaneously, and it finds humanity in both. It's optimistic without being naive, funny without undercutting stakes, and genuinely moving without manipulation. The rules that start as jokes become survival philosophy, become emotional protection, become insufficient when you actually care about people. It's so much smarter than it pretends to be. These 3 films.
So is he saying that you like the comedy and how the characters act and all of that have meaning? Like it's not just a comedy movie. There's actually substance behind it. Okay.
These 3 films transcended their genre by
That's pretty
refusing
cool.
to be limited by it. The zombies aren't the point, they're the vehicle for exploring consumerism, dawn, rage, and masculinity, 28 Days Later, and connection in isolation, Zombieland. They're great films that happen to feature zombies instead of zombie films that
I like
happen
what
to be
he's
great,
saying.
and that distinction matters. But level 7 is different. Level 7
We're on 6.
isn't about transcending the genre.
Wait, what?
Level 7 is about defining it so completely
Oh, no, we
that
are on
everything
7.
after has to acknowledge these films' existence. They're not just the best zombie movies, they're the reason zombie movies matter. Level 7, magnum opus
We
film.
were on 6 this whole time. Oh my god. All right, now we're on 7.
Level 7 is where we stop talking about good movies and start talking about cultural milestones. These aren't films you watch. They're films you experience, study, and measure every other zombie movie against.
Okay,
Night
let's
of the
see.
Living Dead, 1968, is patient 0 for the entire genre. Before this movie, zombies were voodoo slaves
That
and
makes sense, right? 1968. I'm assuming this is the first zombie movie that got it right.
white guy goes to Haiti movies. After this movie, zombies were us. Dead humans coming back to eat the living. George Romero shot it in Pittsburgh on a budget that couldn't afford color film with a cast of local theater actors, and it looks like a documentary from hell. The farmhouse
Wait, that actually does look pretty scary.
of local theater actors, and it
Yo. This does give it like a little documentary vibe, like some sort of like cult or weird town somewhere. I like this.
looks like a documentary from hell. The farmhouse siege is primal terror because Romero never explains why it's happening. No government conspiracy, no virus origin, no cure, just the dead returning and you have to deal with it. The zombie child killing and eating her mother with a garden trowel was transgressive in 1968.
I was about to say that, bro. Imagine seeing that. Like, imagine them seeing that. Their child eating the adult in 1968. There's the work of the devil. Burn this person to the stake. Okay, that might have been like 1900 BC or something. But yeah, a little controversial back in the day. I would know because I was there. That's why I'm unk.
Trowel was transgressive in 1968, and it's still unsettling now because it violates something fundamental about
Yes.
parent-child relationships.
Yep.
But the real genius was casting Dwayne Jones as Ben. A black man as the smart, capable, level-headed protagonist in 1968 wasn't just progressive, it was radical. And that ending where Ben survives the zombie night only to be shot by a white posse who mistake him for a zombie, that's not subtext.
No.
That's Romero looking at civil rights era America and making a horror movie about racism disguised as a zombie flick.
Literally, I was gonna say that. That's a good way to send a like a message or whatever. But anyways, yo, bro, what's he shot him mistaking him. He shot the black guy mistaking him as a zombie. Right.
Looking at civil rights era America and making a horror movie about racism disguised as a zombie flick. The final images are documentary-style photos of Black Ben's body being dragged out with meat hooks, and it's more disturbing than any zombie in the film. Every zombie movie after this is in conversation with Night of the Living Dead, whether it knows it or not. Romero didn't just make a horror movie, he created the template for using zombies as social commentary.
Nice.
And the genre's been following that blueprint for 55 years.
Nice.
Shaun of the Dead.
Honestly, I like that movie already because it did different things. Again, it attacked that parent-child relationship, right? Especially with the mother and the daughter. And then I guess it also tackled like racial stuff. Also, chat, Some 01 came in here, you know what I'm saying? This is probably their first time in stream, I think, at least today. Just super glued my homie's cheeks shut after he said he wouldn't let me crack. I'ma just continue the video, bro.
Ed, 2004, is Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg
that's
taking
a
every
600.
zombie movie trope and executing them so perfectly that it works as both comedy and horror simultaneously. The script is mathematically tight. Dialogue from Act 1 becomes literal in Act 3. Visual jokes planted in the first 10 minutes pay off an hour later, and the whole thing doubles back on itself like a narrative Ouroboros. The opening tracking shot of Sean's daily routine mirrors the zombie attack scene later beat for beat, because the film's argument is that we're already zombies.
Yeah.
We shuffle through life on autopilot, ignore the people we love, and it takes an actual apocalypse to wake us up. Every frame is packed with details. Every joke has a purpose. The comedy never undercuts the stakes because the people making it genuinely love zombie movies and understand what makes them work. When Sean has to kill his zombified mother, it hurts. When David gets torn apart, it's brutal. When Ed stays behind so Sean can escape and you realize their friendship is ending, it's genuinely moving. The film earns every emotional beat by respecting both the comedy and the horror equally.
Exactly. I was gonna get into that. I was gonna say it seems like this movie is playing both comedy and horror, but like there's a good balance in between. And I like the message that is sent that we're all already zombies, which we are. We're all zombies to our daily routine. I guess working a 9 to 5 or yeah, actually it doesn't matter where you work. It is our daily routine. For example, getting up, you're going to work, you're coming out of work, you're going to the gym. It's like a literal loop that just keeps going. So anyways.
Territory. Train to Busan, 2016.
Oh, wait. Huh? Did I?
Passed into our present is video games and them while being funnier and smarter than most serious entries.
Did I skip some? Oh,
with details. Every joke has a purpose. The comedy never undercuts the stakes because the people making it genuinely love zombie movies and understand what makes them work. When Sean has to kill his zombified mother, it hurts. When David gets torn apart, it's brutal. When Ed stays behind so Sean can escape and you realize their friendship is ending, it's genuinely moving. The film earns every emotional beat by respecting both the comedy and the horror equally. Most parodies punch down at their genre. Shaun of the Dead loves zombie movies too much to mock them. It celebrates them while being funnier and smarter than most serious entries. And that ending where Ed plays video games in the shed as a zombie while Sean lives a normal life with Liz, it's perfect. It's saying we can integrate even the worst parts of our past into our present if we're willing to compromise. Also, it's hilarious. The film works as rom-com, buddy comedy, horror, and social satire without dropping any of those balls. That's not just good filmmaking, that's masterpiece territory. Train to Busan, 2016, is Korean director Yeon Sang-ho, taking the zombie movie formula and executing it with such emotional precision that you forget you're watching a genre film.
Oh,
a workaholic dad and his daughter board a train to visit the mom, but a zombie boards too.
Oh,
the train becomes a microcosm of society, different classes in different cars, people making selfish versus selfless choices. Authority figures catastrophically failing. Gong Yoo's performance as Seok-woo is incredible because you watch him transform in real time from selfish corporate drone to self-sacrificing father. The businessman who locks people out to save himself, the working class guy who protects everyone, the pregnant woman and her husband. Each character represents a different response to crisis, and the film never
I like that. Yeah. See, when they tell a deeper story, and when it comes to horror, that makes sense because when you think about horror or zombies, whatever, it's usually just like the zombie apocalypse thing. But at least here, there is substance behind each character, which is good.
Each character represents a different response to crisis, and the film never simplifies them into good or bad. The action choreography is phenomenal. Zombies piling through trains, contorting through windows, moving like a single organism hunting prey.
God.
The film understands that zombie horror works.
Well, what do they want with this train so bad?
The film understands that zombie horror works best in enclosed spaces where you can't escape. And a train is the ultimate enclosed space, because even the cars you're not in are full of zombies and you're...
I'll do you one better. What about an airplane? Because now you really have nowhere to go. Because with a train, you could at least, find a way to jump out or something and maybe you'll survive. With an airplane, hell nah. There's no survival rate, bro. You're literally enclosed with nowhere to go. GG's.
Moving too fast to jump off. But what makes Train to Busan transcendent is how it builds to that ending. Seok-woo gets infected protecting his daughter. He stumbles away from her while having flashbacks to her birth, remembering every moment he prioritized work over her, realizing exactly what he's losing. He chooses to jump off the train rather than attack her. The daughter and pregnant woman walk through the tunnel singing the song the daughter sang earlier. Soldiers ready to shoot them until they hear her voice and realize they're human. It's devastating. You earn every tear because the film spent 2 hours building these characters and making you care whether they survive. The zombies are fast and terrifying, but the real story is about a father learning to be a father right before he loses the chance to be one.
Wow.
That's not just a good zombie movie.
That's powerful.
That's a great film that happens to feature zombies. These 3 films define what zombie cinema can be. In my opinion, they're the peak of zombie movies. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see the 7 levels of zombie variants,
I think this is the video we should have been on. I don't know. I just thought that this video was going to rank the different levels of zombie apocalypses in movies. I didn't think it was going to go into depth about, I guess, like how good zombie apocalypse are, bro. Train to Busan is legit peak cinema. Honestly, it does sound like it is. Z Nation was actually good to me. It was a fresh spin on zombie lore. Facts. I've watched most of the movies on this list, but Train to Busan really is a roller coaster. I watched it multiple times and cry every time. Yo, chat, I'm adding that to the list. I have to. Z Nation was a step above the expectations of low-quality mockbusters of the Asylum. Not as dire and a slog like the Walking Dead TV shows. I enjoyed it for the most part. All of Us Are Dead was an exceptionally great Korean series. Yes. Okay, when this came on, I was gonna mention that, but I didn't. I forgot what it was called. But now that I see it here, I'm glad somebody mentioned it. All of Us Are Dead was really good as well. Z Nation isn't the scariest, but it's a good show. It seems like a lot of it is Train to Busan and Z Nation. I'll look into that for sure. But
it's a great
anyways,
film
chat, honestly, I thought it was gonna be a different type of video, but it was still enjoyable, to be honest. Like that was good. Z Nation was peak. I actually want to look into that. I ain't gonna lie, but all right, W video.